Hello, everybody. Welcome to this sixth episode of the Closing Conversation webinar series. So we'll start with a brief presentation of the webinar series, and then we'll deep dive into today's topic, which is the Global CBIT-Forest project from FAO. So this webinar series is organized by the CBIT GSP and showcases CBIT projects that are recently ended or are about to conclude. And the aim of this webinar series is really to provide countries and agencies, like it's the case today, the opportunity to present the result of their CBIT project, share the lesson learned, good practices and tools with other countries and with basically the wider transparency community. So as I said, today is the sixth episode, so you're more than welcome to go check out the previous ones. They're all available on our UNEP CCC YouTube channel. There's one episode on the CBIT project from Madagascar, from Georgia, Panama, Serbia. So yeah, you're more than welcome to check these out. And you can also find more information about the webinar series and the project that we'll be showcasing today on the Climate Transparency platform, which is the one-stop shop for climate transparency. It was launched at the UNFCCC SBs in June 2023. And as you can see, the platform provides lots of different features, such as country profiles, project pages, a dedicated space for the 10 transparency networks, news and event, knowledge products, and a lot more. So you're more than welcome to check it out as well. You can use the link that's on the slide now or the QR code. So in today's episode, we'll focus on the objectives, the activities, and the outcome of the CBIT project, CBIT Forest project, and deep dive into the platforms that support forest monitoring and climate reporting. So we'll also present available resources that we think will be very relevant to your work. And we will also have two dedicated times for Q&As. So today we are joined by Rocio Condor, who is the Forestry Officer and Project Manager of the Global CBIT Forest Project and thematic leaders of the ETF for the Forestry Division at FAO. We're also having with us Vicky O'Brien, who is the Forest Monitoring Advisor at FAO, Chiara Patriarca, who is the Forest Resources Data Analyst from the FRA team, and finally Séverine Huil, who is a statistician at the FAO. So we are very delighted that you accepted our invitation and that you are here with us today to present. So just a couple of points before we deep dive into the project itself. The webinar is being recorded and will be made available on the Climate Transparency Platform event page very soon after the webinar. And the PowerPoint presentation and the knowledge products that will be mentioned during the webinar will also be shared. And as I mentioned, there will be two Q&A sessions during the webinar. So thank you very much to everyone who already submitted questions, but you're also more than welcome to submit some now in the dedicated Q&A section of the teams. So let's start this closing conversation. So Rocio, to kickstart this conversation, could you give us a brief overview of the CBIT Global Project, Phase I and Phase II? What are the main priorities? What were the objectives of this project? We'll also be very interested in hearing how the project addresses the priorities and needs that you have identified. So, Rocio, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Can you confirm you hear me, please?
Yes, we hear you clear and we see your slide.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to thank the Capacity Building Initiative for Transparency Global Support Program for this opportunity, with special thanks to you, Juliette and Alejandro, as I truly enjoy working together to prepare for this conversation. Therefore, I hope you all enjoy it as well. Before entering the core of this conversation, let me briefly share with you why the Building Global Capacity to Increase Transparency in the Forest Sector project, abbreviated to CBIT-Forest, was born and where we saw the need to build capacities on forest data transparency. Our aim is to foster the following achievements. First of all, stakeholder engagement. Transparent forest data empowers governments, academia, private sector by ensuring their participation in decisions and protecting their interests. Climate action. Accessible forest monitoring data supports climate change mitigation and adaptation efforts. Attracting investments. Transparency attracts sustainable investors, thus stimulating economic growth in forest-dependent regions. Research and innovation advancement. Open data fosters scientific innovation in ecology and biodiversity conservation. Effective policy, as transparent forest data enhance policy making by ensuring decisions are evidence-based and targeted for maximum impact. And finally, international collaboration, as transparency promotes global cooperation on issues like forest management and biodiversity conservation. You may ask yourself how we are contributing towards forest data transparency in line with the implementation of the enhanced transparency framework under the Paris Agreement. Allow me to guide you through this process. The first phase of CBIT-Forest navigated the challenges of COVID-19 pandemic by exploring innovative opportunities. Plans for virtual capacity development were expanded upon by sharing knowledge and raising awareness through products and events such as free self-paced e-learning courses, case studies, massive open online courses, and webinars, all in multiple languages. The success of CBIT-Forest first phase was especially marked by its engagement, which strongly encouraged participation from women and indigenous peoples. Virtual engagement from different stakeholders saw the project contribute to global awareness of forest data transparency and the important role of forest information plays in climate action. The project promoted inclusive e-learning by giving an equal opportunity to access, contribute to, and benefit from transparency-related knowledge products to almost 10,000 individuals, of which 39% were women. Building on its lesson learned and achievements, the second phase of CBIT-Forest was designed to enhance quality, timeless, accessibility, and usability of forest-related data in line with the enhanced transparency framework. The CBIT-Forest project, supported by the Global Environment Facility, was launched to bolster the capacity of countries to effectively and transparently monitor and report forest data. The project will directly benefit at least 20 countries and more broadly the 236 countries and territories that are part of the global network of national correspondents for the Global Forest Resources Assessment, as well as the national focal points of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. The relevance, effectiveness, efficiency, impact, and sustainability of the forest data are enhanced by building on forest monitoring work in the Forestry Division of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. Also, linking with internal and external networks and globally accessible platforms. CBIT-Forest connects the dots to ensure that high-quality knowledge and expertise are available to all. The Global Forest Resources Assessment and the Forest Monitoring and Data Platform teams of FAO's Forestry Division are implementing this project. We have started the second year of implementation. Back to you, Juliette.
Thank you very much for this very nice overview, Rocio. Could you also explain us how the project is structured?
Sure. The CBIT project is supporting global, regional, and national efforts to improve the capacity of developing countries to collect, analyze, and disseminate forest-related data. These efforts to boost institutional and technical capacities, along with increased knowledge sharing and awareness raising, constitute the main components of CBIT. So at the global level, we are working with multiple open data platforms and virtual knowledge. The project is facilitating access to the best available forest resources data through FAO's Global Forest Resources Assessment Platform, which is in process of integrating voluntary flexible reporting for countries that are interested in sharing their forest data more frequently. The project is also populating the forest inventory data collection under the Food and Agriculture Microdata catalog, of which is linked to work done at the national level as well. I would deep dive a bit more about virtual knowledge in the coming conversation. So let me go straight to the regional level type of work. We aim to connect forest actor as well at regional level. And we do this through encouraging the regional national forest inventory networks. In the first phase, CBIT-Forest supported the Latin American and the Caribbean region. And this second phase, we are also facilitating an additional network in the Asia Pacific to promote transparency of forest-related data. I'm sharing with you a knowledge product that was a milestone for the Latin American region and was presented by the NFI, the National Forest Inventory Network in Latin America and the Caribbean. And it's a milestone for the region as it contains information related to their national forest inventories from around 20 countries, from design to reporting. So I encourage you to check it. At the national level, we have thus far engaged with more than 20 countries to work towards broad forest data dissemination. As you can see, we have Mexico, Guatemala, Costa Rica, Colombia, Ecuador, Panama, Peru, and Brazil in the LAC region. Some other also in Africa, Ethiopia, Uganda, Congo, Sierra Leone, Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Zambia, and also a group of countries in Asia, Mongolia, Bangladesh, Nepal, Laos, Thailand, Indonesia, and Vanuatu. I would like to also mention that many of the work also at national level is linked with the work of accelerating innovative monitoring for forest program, also known as Aim for Forests, a 5-year initiative that aims to support forest monitoring based on modern monitoring technologies and technical innovation. Back to you, Juliet.
Thank you very much, Rocio. So you've just elaborated on the collection of national open forest data. So I was wondering, is there any platforms available to countries within this project to support the forest monitoring and climate reporting obligations? And could you or your colleague also give us a brief intro and walk us through them and tell us whether you also provide capacity building and training on this platform?
Thank you, Juliet. Yes, I will ask Chiara to walk us through the Global Forest Resources Assessment process. Chiara, back to you.
Thank you, Rocio, and thank you everyone for joining this webinar today. So before presenting the FRA platform, just a few words on what FRA is. FRA, the Global Forest Resources Assessment, is the world's most comprehensive source of forest resources information. It provides information for understanding the extent of forest resources, their condition, management, and uses. The last assessments have been conducted every 5 years. The data for the assessments is collected through country reports prepared by national correspondents, which are officially nominated by the countries. These experts, the national correspondents, are also responsible for coordination of the national teams, gathering the inputs and preparing the report. The ongoing assessment, which is the FRA 2025, examines the status and trends in more than 50 forest-related variables in 236 countries and territories between the period 1990 and 2025. The FRA 2025 data are collected using commonly agreed terms and definition through a transparent, traceable reporting process. And this FRA, the FRA 2025 report, will be launched along with the data in October this year. Maybe I will post in the Q&A the link to the video of the process. And now to the platform. So all the data that we just mentioned from the country reporting are also available in an open data platform, which was launched in 2020 and which contains information on forest resources in all 6 UN official languages. This is an open and user-friendly, easy-to-use tool, and it allows to visualize data and metadata, interact with the complete FRA 2020 dataset, access statistical summaries at country, regional, global level, and also for some customized groups of country. And then it allows to download ready-to-use tables and bulk data for analysis and research. But now let's see the platform and how to reach it from the FRA website. So I'm going to share my screen now. I hope you can see my screen. This is the FAO-FRA webpage. As you can see here, we have information about the latest activities, the ongoing activities, plus or the supporting document for the FRA 2025, the past assessment in the form of main report and key finding. And if we click here, access FRA data, we access the FRA platform. As already mentioned, on the right side, we have we can click on English and access all the 6 UN official languages, while on the left side, we can select geographical area and select by global, regions, some customized group of countries, or at country level. Let's select one country now. Sorry. Okay, so as you can see on the left side, we have all the variables. We can enlarge this, divided by groups, and we have subgroups with all the variables. The first tab is the dashboard, where we do have a sort of summary of the result from the FRA 2020. For the major variables as graphs and as tables, which can be downloaded as CSV. Then very important is also the introduction tab, where country provide information on the history, on how they collected data, the methods they use. For example, for the case of Finland, they based on the National Forest Inventory. And most important, we have the report preparation and contact persons involved in the FRA 2020 with their role, if national correspondents, collaborator, all alternate. Then, for example, let's click on one variable. Let's go on extent of forest and other wooded land. So we can see in this page that the first is a graph where we have the trend of the extent of forest in green and in violet other wooded land from 1990 to 2020. The full color dot, the one in green and the one in violet, are the data reported by the country, while the empty dot are the data estimated or interpolated through the platform. And if we scroll down a bit, we can see the table with all the figures, and again the years underlined in green are the data reported by the country. So if we select, for example, 2015, the first part is the data sources, so all the metadata related to the year 2015. And also what is extremely important is the classification and definition. As we know, not all the countries use the same definition as FRA. In this case, Finland has the same definition as FRA, but in this table below, countries can reclassify their national definition according to the FRA definition, and share the percentage of forest which is aligned to the FRA definition. If we click on see definition, we are also able to see all the definition adopted by FRA. Let me minimize this. And then if we click again on global, we have the possibility to download the data. We click on data download, and we have different options. We can download as a zip file, bulk download, including all the variables for all the countries. We can select a subset group of variables for all the countries, or if we decide, if we need a specific country for a specific variable, we can select of the variable of interest. Here we can select the country or countries we are interested in, the variable we are looking at, and the year. And we are able to download this table as a CSV file. Now I want to stop sharing my screen, and before concluding, I just want to say that what Rosie already mentioned, that as an innovative aspect of the FRA process, countries now have the opportunity to provide flexible voluntary update of their data. And so far, 54 countries already expressed their willingness to do so. And to reply to your question, Juliette, I will finalize by saying that capacity building and training to all the national correspondents, alternates, and collaborators is delivered. Each FRA cycle usually includes regional workshops to train the participant on data uploading, data submission, and collection process. Many thanks, and back to you, Rocio.
Thank you very much, Chiara. This was amazing. I would now like to give the floor to Severin. She will help us to understand and navigate the Food and Agriculture Microdata Catalog. Back to you, Severin.
Thank you very much, Rocio. Can you all hear me well? Can you confirm? Okay. Thank you. So I'm gonna present you the Food and Microdata catalog. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So I'm going to guide you through the main features of the website. So let's get started. Here we are on the homepage where you can find general information about the platform, as well as you can see here, updates on new study releases. To view the latest datasets we published, you can click here on the See the latest additions. And to explore all the available studies on the catalog, you can either click on Browse Catalog here, but you can also access it directly by clicking on Visit the Farm Catalog here. You can also access the surveys related to a specific collection directly by clicking on the collection you want to explore. So for instance, the forest inventory data collection, by clicking here, you already have the filter applied. But let's have a look at the complete catalog. So let's open it. As you can see, it's designed for intuitive navigation. On the left sidebar, you will find various filters to refine your search. You can filter by year of the study, by countries or territories, by collections, and by license. By license, it shows the type of availability of the microdata. Then the datasets can be sorted by different criteria. For example, you can find the most recent by year of the study here. Then you can also find studies using keywords related to your research. So let's perform a search to demonstrate how to find relevant studies. Let's type, for instance, forest Guatemala and press on enter. So you can see that we have two studies appearing which contain those keywords. So those keywords are not obligatory present in the title, but also in the metadata as well. So that is why we have two studies here. So to further refine your search, you can use the filter panel on the left, as we saw before, and click on the collection you want. So we want the National Forest Inventory of Guatemala. So we check the forest inventory data collection. And we get back to the study we are interested in. So in this case, we only had two studies, but this can be useful when your keywords search returns many studies. Then to remove the filters, you can simply click here at the top of the filter panel. So let's have a look at the forest inventory collection. So there are 9 studies published from 7 different countries. As you can see, except for Uganda, all studies provide microdata through external repositories. Here in the Guatemala study, you can see in the summary that data is available from external repository, and for Uganda, here that it's a licensed data file, so it's available directly from FAO repository. So now let's explore a study. Let's open the Guatemala National Forest Inventory. If you click on it, it brings you to the metadata page. So the metadata provides general dataset information, including the abstract of the study, the scope, granularity of the data, geographic coverage, and entities covered. It also gives information on data collection process, enumeration techniques, the steps in data processing, and quality assurance. And most importantly, it includes sampling and weighting, information essential for data analysis. Here, we don't have any section for data dictionary because it is a dataset hosted on an external repository. However, we can still find valuable information to help you understand and use the data by clicking in the download sections and by downloading the report and the field manual. Okay, so finally, let's see how to access microdata. This study is an example where data is available on an external repository. To access microdata, you click here on Get Microdata, and you see this link. So this link provides you the link toward the external website. So for studies where data is hosted by a country or another agency, so not FAO, you have to apply directly through them and follow their access conditions. So in this case, you will click here and follow all the steps to get the microdata sets related to the Guatemala National Forest Inventory. But let us have a look at the other case where the data is hosted by FAO on the platform. So let's take the example of Uganda that we saw before, as it's a licensed data file, as you can see here. Let's click on it and go to Get Microdata. So as you can see here, you are asked to fill out the application directly in the catalog. So you will be asked to indicate what you want to use the dataset for, and you agree to use the dataset as stated in the access conditions. We will then review the request and provide access to the data. If possible, we ask you to submit to us a copy of your report or paper once completed so that we can track the uses of the FAM microdata. So that's it for the demonstration. For further help, you can write to farmcatalog@fao.org that I'm going to share in the chat. And okay, so you should be able to see it now. I cannot write in the chat. Okay, I will write it later, maybe. Okay, so back to you, Rocio.
Thank you very much, Chiara and Severin. Chiara works with us in the forestry division with the FRA team, and Severin works in the statistics division of FAO. So I'm so happy that they were able to join me to showcase the work that we are doing with open platforms. I think it's back to you, Juliette. Thanks.
Yes, thank you so much, Séverine and Chiara. It's really impressive work, and I'm sure it's going to be very helpful for all our participants today to support the Forest MRV and ultimately help reporting under the ETF. So thank you so much for that. And you can send us the link and we'll put it in the chat so everyone can access it. And as I said, we'll share anyways all the resources and the links after the webinars. So I would like to now open for the first Q&A. So again, thank you so much for all that already submitted the questions. We've got some great ones already, but feel free to ask more in the Q&A section, and we'll try to answer them. So we'll start with the first question for you, Chiara. Could you briefly elaborate how remote sensing techniques can be used in collecting reliable forest data with satisfying accuracy?
Thank you, Juliette. So I think there is no straightforward answer for this question, as the approach, the methodology depend mainly on factors such as the scope, the objective, the accuracy, the scale of the assessment, and budget availability. For example, for the FRA has complemented the national reporting process since 1990 with a parallel remote sensing survey. And the FRA remote sensing survey adopts a standardized methodology based on visual interpretation supported by the local expert. This approach is a combination of satellite imagery, very high resolution images, and the local expertise. Given that the assessment aims to improve for our scope detection of forest changes, we adopt a random stratified sampling design based on change strata. So this means that we allocated more samples to areas experiencing change for more reliable insight on this. And whether, since this assessment operates at global level, the number of selected samples might not always be statistically valid at country level. So I would say it depends on the type of methodology you would like to reach. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chiara. We have a second question for you. How do you deal with differences in quality and capacities across different regions?
Okay, so to answer this question, I can show and outline the approaches that we used in the FRA, both for the reporting process and for the remote sensing survey. So for the country reporting, before each FRA cycle, we usually prepare two key supporting documents, which are the guidelines and specifications and the terms and definition. And these documents help countries to adopt a standardized approach when submitting data and reporting to FRA. Then, in addition to this, we also, as already mentioned, have regional training sessions, which are conducted to work closely with each country, ensuring a consistent approach. And these include, of course, guiding countries to use the best available data they have, maintaining consistencies in data sources over the year whenever possible, and aligning methodologies across all participating countries. For what concerns the remote sensing survey, since the methodology is standardized, experts undergo training workshop using structure models. So, and this is done for the purpose of ensuring consistent photo interpretation. So usually during this training, we do exercises and exams before the actual data collection begins. And this is ensure the accuracy and the uniformity of the assessment process. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chiara. We now have a question for you, Vicky. Which models or tools do you advise for the use in monitoring dryland forest dynamics?
Thank you, Juliet. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah, so if you're looking for a way to monitor dryland forest dynamics, Open Forest has several solutions you could choose from. Just really quickly for those who don't know, so Open Forest is an initiative with a set of free and open source solutions designed for forest monitoring. So if someone's opting to update existing data, we would recommend you use Collect Earth, particularly after global assessment, because it helps to maintain a consistent sampling approach. And it ensures to align across different data collection efforts that have been done before. In this scenario, in case you wanted to verify data in the field, this could be done by collecting data using mobile apps. So we have different options, Arena Mobile, Collect Mobile, and Ground. 3 apps. People will ask why, because they all serve different purposes. I can happily go into detail later. But mainly, it's about providing this information and put it into the desktop and web-based solutions. And in the third case, if you wanted to start a project from scratch, you have more flexibility in choosing the right solution. So it could be Collect Earth, which is a desktop solution, or Collect Earth, which is a web-based solution. Both are really solid choices for data interpretation and visualization. I just want to mention Collect Earth has been widely used in the past for assessments already, but Collect Earth Online offers this cloud-based alternative, so it's easier for accessing and sharing surveys, etc. I just wanted to quickly raise awareness that FAO has published a report on the first global assessment on dryland forests and land use. And it was basically to align with past global assessments, and we recommend it's best to follow that approach because this study established a key baseline for monitoring changes in dryland forests, tree cover, and land use. And that helps to support decisions and investments in restoration. And I'm happy to share the link to the report in the Q&A now. Thank you. Back to you, Juliet.
Thank you very much, both of you. I'm sure that will be very helpful for all our participants today. And again, we'll make sure to link all the knowledge products and presentation we've touched upon now. So we'll now move on to the next part of this webinar and look at the knowledge products that you have developed at FAO. So Rocio, is there any knowledge product you would like to highlight for us now?
Thank you very much, Juliet. Let me give the time to upload the presentation. And give me 1 second. So Yes, I think this is the one I wanted to share with all of you. In collaboration with the FAO Learning Academy, we are populating the Forest Monitoring for Climate Action e-learning series, which offers comprehensive forest monitoring e-learning opportunities to strengthen institutional and technical capacities to meet measurement, reporting, and verification requirements, as well as the enhanced transparency framework under the Paris Agreement. This timeline shows the 6 courses that are currently available. They are self-paced and accessible anytime, anywhere, and in multiple languages. Moreover, they are linked to a final certification test, which verifies the skills and competencies gained from these e-learning courses. I would also like to highlight that many self-paced courses have been the basis for delivering massive open online courses and facilitated courses, of which have been enriched with extra resources and activities such as live sessions, discussion forums, videos, quizzes. Between June 2020 and December 2024, over 30,000 online learners from around the world benefited from our self-paced courses. Of these learners, 35% were women, a promising indicator of women's growing participation and empowerment in forest monitoring. Check out the course teaser video and links to the platform, which are available in English, French, and Spanish. Allow me also to offer you an example of a recent online facilitated course and invite you to share it with your networks. The National Forest Inventory online facilitated course offered comprehensive guidance on all stages of preparing and implementing national forest inventories, from planning and designing an inventory to collecting and reporting data. This course equipped participants with the necessary knowledge and skills to manage effective national forest inventories. It was run in 3 languages, and the duration of the course allowed participants to freely decide how many learning paths they want to take. Participants were also able to earn a digital badge certification of their acquired knowledge. Please check these links to the web pages in the 3 different languages, where you will find testimonials of this facilitated course and more information on the upcoming self-paced version of this course. Because if you were not able to join us, still all the material will be available as a self-paced course. Key outcomes of this global virtual knowledge capacity development activity: we had around 1,390 participants entering into the platform, 842 obtained a digital badge certification, more than 600 connected to the live sessions, and more than 15 experts, national forest inventory experts, were involved in the delivery of the course, live sessions, and the form monitoring. Stay tuned in March for the launch of the new online facilitated course on the institutionalization of forest data. You will learn more how to enhance your country's national forest monitoring system. Back to you, Juliette.
Thank you very much, Rocio. So we'll now take a deep dive into the specific areas of support, both at national and regional level that you've provided. So Rocio, over to you.
Thank you, Juliette. And let me start by saying that South-South cooperation plays a crucial role in improving forest data transparency as it enhances national forest inventories across regions. In recent decades, international reporting and requirements and agreements have underscored the need to consider, produce, and disseminate forest information in global and regional scales. In response to these needs, regional national forest inventory networks have emerged as a solution to produce comparable and harmonized forest information with multi-country working teams. It is with these network initiatives that the capability of national forest inventory can be enhanced by developing capacities, sharing knowledge, harmonizing data, collection and reporting practices, and ensuring transparency. As mentioned earlier, since 2020, CBIT-Forest has been supporting the National Forest Inventory Network for the Latin American and the Caribbean. Since 2024, we have begun to work toward the facilitation of a new network in the Asia-Pacific region. Check more of our work in both regions. And I would like to also share with you the publication Grounded in Data, Informing Climate Action and Reporting with National Forest Inventories, which provides a comprehensive overview of the role of national forest inventories in supporting sustainable forest management and informing international climate commitments. Open access to global forest data is critical to saving the world's forest systems and achieving sustainable and open data with legal assurance, integrated approaches, shared ethics, and innovation. Informed policymaking largely relies on data and information accessible for potential users. So transparent and reliable information supports forest monitoring process in countries. Here below, I am sharing some examples of national level work from Mexico, Bangladesh, Peru, and Laos. I think if you deep dive into these web stories, you will be able to understand and to learn how national forest inventories are contributing to the overall national forest monitoring systems of the country. With this, I would also like to additionally share with you the publication Pathways to Forest Data Transparency, Best Practices from National Forest Monitoring to Support Climate Action, which showcases innovative approaches demonstrating how national forest monitoring systems actually can be tailored to diverse needs while aligning with global standards. You will find best practices from Congo, Ghana, Uganda, Laos, Papua New Guinea, Bangladesh, Costa Rica, Chile, and Mexico. Let me also mention that country-level work is also supported by the development of free open-source solutions for forest monitoring and forest and land monitoring, deforestation, free supply chain, and restoration and monitoring. So Vicky already mentioned, Open Forest is a free open source suite of solutions enabling flexible data collection, analysis, and reporting. We will be happy to have a separate session on the Open Forest initiative. For now, get them all through this QR code. Check also our self-assessment tools. Let me highlight at least one of them, which is the National Forest Monitoring Assessment Tool, which was launched during the first phase of CBIT-Forest. It was developed to support countries with performing through capacity assessments of forest monitoring across three critical dimensions: institutional arrangements, measurement and estimation, and reporting and verification. Check also here the QR code. Finally, let me share with you the new measurement, reporting, and verification dashboard. It provides an overview of countries' reference level submissions to the UNFCCC and emission reductions assessed against this reference level. Let me conclude by saying that CBIT-Forest operates through developing capacities for open and transparent data management at national, regional, and global levels, implementing innovative global composite learning programs combining virtual and in-person trainings, sharing knowledge and experience, and strengthening and expanding networks with new regional partners, including academia. We are also working with youth, as we have also defined an engagement plan to be implemented this year together with the International Forest Students Association, IFSA. Thank you for your kind attention. Please visit our website for the latest news, events, and resources to help you navigate forest data transparency. You will also find them in Spanish and French. If you would like to remain informed on our activities, publications, and free open source solutions, please subscribe to the Forest Data and Climate Action LinkedIn newsletter and share it with your networks. I'm going to share with you, Juliet, this information. This is the experience and lesson learned of the first phase of CBIT, and then you can get access to all the material we have just shared. Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rocio, for this very comprehensive presentation. So we'll now start the second Q&A. Thank you again for those who submitted some questions. So the first one, I think, will be for you, Chiara. So how can countries use the data assessed through the FRA and the microdata catalog apart from preparation of forest inventories? Are there any linkages to other areas, such as economic valuation of natural resources, such as assessment of ecosystem services, possible forest-related emission reduction activities for carbon markets, etc.? Chiara, would you like to take this question, or any of the colleagues from FAO?
So my microphone is not working. Probably Chiara and Severin can actually give much more information. I think what is key to highlight here is that both platforms are given the chance to anyone to access to different levels also of data aggregation. No? So if you consider the FAM, you have information related to national forest inventories. If you have seen the platform, you will have seen the aggregation. It's different. Chiara talked about the global, some customized groups, as well as the national level. So this is partly to respond, and back to Severin or Chiara.
Sorry, I had an issue with my microphone and camera, and I wasn't able to speak, not even to show myself. I'm really sorry for this. Yeah, if I heard correctly your question, what Rocio said is correct. I mean, through the FRA platform, we provide 50 different forest-related information and different variables, and all of this can be downloaded and aggregated for different purpose at country level, regional level, as I said, also for some customized group of countries. So all of this can be used not only for the reporting, for the FRA reporting process, but also for other international reporting processes. Thank you.
And regarding the FAM catalog, I can just approve what you just said, Rocio, is that the main value of the FAM catalog, it's open, it's an open source data website, and we are going to expand also the number of surveys as the collaborations with the countries will also expand, and the main key value also of the website is that we deliver accurate metadata for the forest inventories.
Thank you very much for this answer. And I have another question for you. Maybe that one is for you, Rocio. What would you say are the biggest challenges today in preparation of forest inventories related to the development of NDCs and BTRs?
I think if you can hear me, I think this publication that actually I was just mentioning, Grounded in Data, has tried to bring together like two important groups, no? Those who collect data, analyze, and disseminate data, and also those who need that data to for climate reporting. So what we have seen in many cases working at all the levels I've mentioned during my presentation, the national, the regional, and the global, is that sometimes all these focal points are not connected and they are not maybe aware. There is sometimes in some countries that there is more than an institution that is collecting data. So that's the reason we always talk about national forest monitoring system, because this aspect actually integrates both national forest inventories and remote sensing data. So for me, actually, the challenge is to make sure that first, internally at country level, there is enough information about the different sources of information. And I think it is, of course, important the quality of the data. So you have seen from these global platforms how deep dive we went into this type of information, no? The quality of the data, the check of the data. So I think countries are also struggling a bit on, those processes we just mentioned and that CBIT-Forest is supporting, no? The collection. So some countries are at that level. Many countries have collected national forest inventories 10 years ago. The analysis part, sometimes countries are able to collect, but they need support for the analysis of this national forest inventory data. And the dissemination, this is a part, a very important one, no? Because not all countries, and you will see it from the publications, lesson learned and experience, we have collected a series of, I would say, aspects that countries consider when talking about open and transparent data. So this is sort of a response for you, Juliet, hopefully. Thanks.
Thank you very much. We'll take a last question. Are only FAO-supported reports uploaded on the FRA catalog? So I think you've touched upon that, but maybe you can clarify for the participants.
Sure. I think I passed the word to Chiara, which was able to explain nicely. Chiara, are you back?
Yeah. So regarding the FRA reporting process, we usually deal, as we said, is a country-driven process. So usually it's the country who select their national correspondent, and through the national correspondent, they submit data into the FRA platform. But the data are open and available to all the users. Regarding the remote sensing survey, which is, as I said, a complement process that we do. This is done with the support of local national expert, not linked to the national correspondent. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Chiara. So we will then now end this webinar, but before we do so, we have prepared a quick Mentimeter survey that you can answer now. My colleague Alejandro will share his screen. You can either scan the QR code that appears on the screen, or go to menti.com and put the code 24267740, and we'll do that quickly. I leave you a couple of seconds to connect. It's a very brief survey, but it's very helpful for us. So yeah, menti.com and then 24267740. Or you can just scan the QR code on the screen if it's easier. Yeah, we can go, I think, to the first question. So from where are you joining us today? It's really nice. It's really spread around the world. So that's very, very interesting and very great to see people from basically almost all continents. Very nice. I think that's also the concept, not of this global project, that it touches everyone, and that's great. I think we can move to the second question. How satisfied are you with the webinar? Where so far no one is dissatisfied, so I guess that's a good sign. Yeah, we can go to the next slide. It's almost finished. What other areas would you like to see in the next webinar? We're asking this question because, as I mentioned at the beginning, this is a webinar series. So today was the 6th episode, and we'll have many more in the coming month. So this is also very helpful for us to see what you are looking for, and we can try to also base our program on this answer. So thank you so much for answering this question. I think there is a last question that we can go to now. What aspects of the webinar would you improve next time? So the same for us, we also always want to improve, and if we can make it even better, then that would be great. Yes, I think that was it. You can keep answering. The link will keep working. But yeah, I want to thank you all so much for coming today, and really thank you so much to our colleagues from FAO. Like, your work is really impressive, and I'm sure it's going to be very, very valuable for the people that have joined us today. So thank you again so much. And as mentioned, we'll make all the material available shortly on our event page on the Climate Transparency platform, and share all the links and knowledge products that have been mentioned today. And as it has been also mentioned from our colleagues at FAO, you can also reach out to them directly, and I'm sure they'll be more than happy to assist you with your work. So thank you so much again, and stay tuned for the next episode of a Closing Conversation webinar series. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.